Welcome back, everybody. You are just in time for What's Hot. This is where we talk about the stories that have everybody talking.
And today we are joined by John and Willow, Marketing and Development Director of Project Foundry. It's been a while. I'm sorry about that. Plus, Jeff Wagner is back. A Wauwatosa man is fighting the city over smart water meters. He says they emit harmful radiation, but the city has already threatened to shut off his water if he does not comply. Should utility customers be forced to have smart meters to install in their home in order to get service?
Well, let's clarify first. The city has not threatened to shut off his water if he doesn't comply. The mayor of Wauwatosa has already said that
it's not going to happen,
that it's not going to happen, and that for a small fee, anyone in Wauwatosa who doesn't want to have the smart meter installed in their house for whatever reason can have the standard meter if they're willing to offset the cost of having someone come out and read the meter. So
he's got a valid point.
He does have a valid point. There's not that much research yet on the effects of those RF signals. And I was talking to Jeff earlier. I know he's just, I'm going to finish up so you can get in and just cream me on this one. RF signals do put out a certain noise that only certain people can hear. If you remember analog TV days with the volume off, if that sound bothered you, then your smart meter might bother you too. And it bothers me, so I live in Wauwatosa and I am going to opt out.
Okay, let's have some reality. There's millions of these across the country. This guy should be wearing a tinfoil hat and walking down to cathedrals, waiting for the Martians to come down. We're off on the kook fringe on this. As far as the risks, there's no empirical evidence that suggests that there's any risks. Now, some people don't like them because they think that they're inaccurate, but from a health perspective, this is really a fringe thing. Now, having said that, if the fringe, the kook element that's out there, the handful of people that have issues with these want to pay whatever it costs, the actual cost, so the rest of the people don't have to spend one extra dime because people don't want these things, well then I guess I don't care. But this is not something to have a scare about.
This sounds to me like a topic on the old Art Bell show.
It is exactly, that's right.
And you know, the other thing is that smart meters have only been around for maybe 10 years on the total spectrum, and there hasn't been a lot of research done. So when you say there is no empirical research, there isn't time to have done empirical research.
But of course, we don't have to worry because the people who are concerned about this aren't paying attention to us because they don't listen to the radio, they don't want Wi-Fi, they don't have microwave ovens, and they don't get TVs because they all issue different types of radiation. I mean,
so if we spend more time listening to talk radio,
well, it's TV.
We'll all be taking off our tinfoil hats,
it's TV, Wi-Fi, all those things, John Ann. This is not. Are you really sure that this is the group that you want to be associated with? Seriously?
Well, I kind of march to my own drummer, and if the noise bothers me, I'll stop. And I guess if tinfoil hat people are going to be my friends in this, then that's who I'm going to this party with.
Well, I guess this story really is a hot topic.
There you go.
It's heating up here.
Maybe Monday we'll talk about fluoride in the water, guys.
Exactly.
Coming up next, we reveal the viewer's choice topic of the day.
And of course, Brian Goddard will be back with another look at your weekend forecast. Our viewer's choice topic of the day.
Again, we are joined by John and Willow and Jeff Wagner. The viewer's choice topic this afternoon, Texas Governor Rick Perry planning to deploy 1,000 National Guard troops to help with the border crisis. By deploying the troops himself, he has the power to order those troops to make arrests, something troops in past border deployments have been prohibited from doing. Should troops have the power to arrest people?
No, I think this is a bad idea because National Guard troops are not trained in civilian law enforcement. Now, they have very specific roles, and I think it's perfectly appropriate to have them assist civilian law enforcement. But they're not trained to make arrests. They're not responsible as far as making the various arrests. I think this is one you let the civilian authorities do their thing, you assist them, but no, I don't go with the troops making arrests.
I agree with that, and I also agree with the power of the state to deploy the National Guard to arrest people. I think that's also an issue that should really be looked at before we set off and just start doing that. But the biggest concern, Jeff, I absolutely agree with you. is that they're not trained to deal with that. I know, crazy, but that they're not trained to deal with that particular issue, which obviously is one of the most thorny issues in American law enforcement. You can't just send part-time soldiers down there and say, here, do this highly skilled job. Oh, and someone might die.
Right. Yeah, and you can. I mean, and I think there's probably a role for the National Guard, and if you want to help with border security, that's fine. But that's not their role is not the civilian role.
Right.
They're not trained to build cases. That's just not their function. And I think if you talk to a lot of people who were with various National Guards, they'll tell you. I mean, they don't feel comfortable doing this.
Right.
You know, the obvious role would be they take over desk duties.
Right.
And things like that, so those with law enforcement training can be freed up and actually be out on the streets.
Sure.
That's a great idea. We should write to Rick Perry. I'll put it on his Facebook page.
Okay, do that.
All
Let's
right.
get to our
Let me know how that works for you.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll go
right
right to the front office.
Send him one of those thought messages on the radio waves and
I've got
stuff.
my
He'll
hat.
go,
I got my
"Oh,
tinfoil hat on.
You guys
I
were
can't,
just
I won't
making
go through.
All right, let's go to the lightning round. We all know summertime is here in Milwaukee, and what that means, festivals. German Fest kicks off today. It's a celebration of food, family, and generations of German history here in Wisconsin and abroad. Also this weekend, the Brady Street Festival is happening. So our question today to end on a high note is, what is your favorite festival?
Ooh,
Well,
that's a tough one.
Well, see, for me, with all due respect to my friend Don Smiley at Summerfest and the great ethnic festivals, for me, next Thursday, the Wisconsin State Fair.
What is it about the
off.
State Fair that you love so much, Jeff?
Well,
it's the cream puffs, right?
Well, I like the cream puffs. I'm going to be giving away a bunch of free cream puffs Wednesday morning, but I like the craft beers, and I love the people watching. I have to tell you, the people watching at State Fair
is the best.
It's the best. And I get to sit in this broadcast booth, this fishbowl, and do my radio show, and people get to look at me, but I get to look at them too, and it's great. It's
Where else can you run into your old high school teacher instead and have a beer with them?
Unbelievable, unbelievable. Of all the festivals, of all the neighborhood festivals and street festivals, I also think the State Fair is the best summer festival. For that reason, for the food, for the variety of entertainment, for the fact that there's something for everybody to do, for the way it showcases Wisconsin's history and culture, and for the fact that you can take your family of all ages there and you can split up or stay together and everybody has a great time.
And you know what? The one thing I love about it is that the Expo Center, where you see all the stuff you do not need, but yet you end up buying.
Let's buy a hot tub. Let's go to the State Fair and buy a hot tub.
I almost bought a stand-up sauna last year.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
I'm amazed. You've got the guy that's got the giant blender, and he takes like 3 radishes, a potato, and a celery stick, and makes a vanilla milkshake out of it.
And it's delicious.
How did they do that? And then you buy it, and you get it home, and you can't come close to doing it again. How did this guy do that? But
it's tinfoil hat magic.
Ooh.
Come on out to the State Fair, say hi to us.
Do I got to pick one?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I love Irish Fest.
I do too.
What is it about Irish Fest
I
you
love trying on all the wool, because it's usually a really, really warm day. And I just love watching people trying on the sweaters and the hats, because it is, I mean, that's the last thing you want to do, thing you want to do on a hot Wisconsin day is put on an Irish wool fisherman sweater.
Plug, my son's string band from Wauwatosa East High School, the Pickle Alley String Band, is playing Friday night at Irish Fest.
Oh.
So,
all right.
Very stop there and see him.
See, I thought you were going to tell the truth there, Steve, which is Irish Fest, very attractive Colleens. I thought that's what you were going to say. Very attractive crowd.
And neither confirm nor deny. The What's Hot discussion continues online. Find that page at TMJ4.com.